I made the coolest beer pong table for MrBeast. I even had custom ping pong balls and solo cups made for him as well. Now you might be asking, why are you doing this for MrBeast? Well, MrBeast is known for his giving, but recently he said this.
When I give to MrBeast, because not many people do, I was like, oh man, that's kind of true. No one gives me anything.
Now this got me thinking. A year ago, I made an infinity mirror beer pong table and you all seem to like it. So today, we'll be making MrBeast a MrBeast themed infinity mirror beer pong table and hopefully give it to MrBeast. To start making this table, we'll need some 2x4s for the frame of the table. The table itself will be 2 feet wide by 8 feet long. And to make it look nice and pretty, I cut the ends at 45-degree angles to make it fit nice and perfectly. I could just leave the table as is, however, we're making this table for MrBeast, and his colors will make this look a lot cooler. Spray paint looks super awesome, and I think the colors almost match MrBeast's logo perfectly. So I actually ran into a problem when I was trying to put the frame of this table together. I cut the wood at a 45-degree angle so that they would fit perfectly together and make a perfect rectangle. However, it's actually really hard to drill together this way. Every time I try to drill them together, they just push apart. So some things I found online is using wood glue to glue them together and then nail gun them in. But that doesn't seem the safest with how thin these pieces of wood are, and I'm not trying to hurt myself. So what I'm thinking about trying is drilling through the plywood and into the frame and make the perfect rectangle that way. I hope this works. The bottom of the table will be a piece of plywood with an adhesive mirror on top of it. The plywood is pretty boring as is, so let's spice it up a bit. Now that looks sick. I noticed the bottom of the table, but this table is for MrBeast, so no detail of this table is going to be spared. If we want MrBeast to see this table has to be epic.
Epic.
However, before I can drill through it, I'm actually gonna have to put this mirror tape onto the plywood, and this is gonna act as the mirror for our infinity mirror. I just finished putting the mirror tape on and it actually looks pretty awesome. They turned out a ton better than I thought they would, and it's gonna make the table so much lighter than my first version. My first version had a mirror and plywood underneath it, and it was insanely heavy and pretty impractical to use. But with this, it completely cuts out the weight of the mirror, but it's still gonna reflect almost as well as a regular mirror, so it's totally worth it. There's a few crinkles in it, but once it's all drilled together, it'll pretty much stay in place. The next step is gonna be drilling the plywood to the frame. I hope this works because otherwise, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. So one of the 2x4s was warped a little bit, so you know I had to use my college diploma to help hold it down. I knew it was useful for something. I've gotten one of the mirrors on and so far it's going super well. I couldn't be happier with how it looks so far from this side. It looks pretty awesome. I'm now gonna put the second mirror on, and I'm a little concerned that the mirrors are gonna be a little messed up on the other side because they weren't sticking the best. But that's a problem for after we get the other mirror on. So I got both pieces of plywood with the mirror tape onto the frame, and I think it really worked. I haven't flipped it over yet to check, but I did notice one thing I messed up. My taping job wasn't that great, and the center line doesn't line up. It's not the end of the world, doesn't look the prettiest, but it still looks pretty dang cool, and if that's my only mess up in this whole entire thing, I'm not gonna be too upset. So now I'm gonna flip the table over and see how the mirrors and the frames turned out. So I just turned it over, and it looks freaking amazing. Look at that. Except, there's one thing I noticed. It's that I used the wrong side of the 2x4. So there's two things I can do here. I can either paint on top of the 2x4s with the mirror underneath it and risk getting paint on the mirror, or I think the simpler option is to just flip the 2x4s. Neither option's really good. I think I have to do this. So after about 30 extra minutes of work, the frame is finally complete and the colors look awesome. The mirror turned out super well too. I was afraid it was gonna crinkle a ton more than it did. There's a little bit of wrinkles in it, but nothing as bad as my last table. My last table had so many wrinkles. Now that we finished the frame, we'll need to add LEDs to the inside of the table. The reason the inside of the frame is spray painted black is because black absorbs light a lot more than it reflects. This allows the LEDs to reflect up and down rather than side to side, allowing for the light to appear to travel further and further, giving it that infinity effect. I could have used any colored LEDs, but you know I had to go with more blue and pink to keep up with the MrBeast theme. These are actually two different LED strips, but this sick connector allows for the current to run through both strips, allowing both to light up. The LEDs are just one of the three components of an infinity mirror. Let me explain this more. An infinity mirror has three main components: a see-through mirror, LEDs, and a regular mirror. When you turn on the LEDs, the light starts to travel to one of the mirrors. It then reflects and travels to the other. The light then travels all the way back to the other mirror and then bounces back and forth an indefinite amount of times. Now every time the light travels back and forth, it starts to appear further and further into the distance, causing this almost portal-like effect. Infinity mirrors are super cool, and I highly suggest you make one yourself. There will be a link to all the parts used in this video in the description below. Now let's keep building. Now the top of the table will be an acrylic sheet with an adhesive two-way mirror. I bought a 48 by 96 acrylic sheet because that's all Home Depot had, and I bought a tool that was supposed to make it easier to cut. However, I ended up breaking it. So after being frustrated for a few minutes, I quickly hopped on Amazon and ordered two 24 by 48 acrylic sheets. These acrylic sheets were so much easier to use because they're already pre-cut. However, I still had a lot of difficulties putting the two-way mirror adhesive on. This was another cause of frustration. And after trying multiple times, I ran out of the mirror adhesive. So again, I hopped onto Amazon and bought two more to make sure I didn't run out this time. And then instead of trying doing it by myself again, I recruited my girlfriend to help me out. Having two people put the two-way mirror adhesive on made it so much easier, and on top of that, we took our time and made sure that it was flawless. I cannot thank my girlfriend enough for helping me out with this because it took probably 30 minutes to an hour to put both on, and there is absolutely no way I could have done it myself. Now that we've got the two-way mirror tape on, it's time to attach it to the table. Well, let's hope this goes smoothly. Now that we've successfully gotten the top of the table on, it's time to put on the most important part of the table, the MrBeast logo. Looks like another thing we're gonna have to buy on Amazon. I'm currently ordering a connector so that my airbrush will fit into my compressed air tank. While I do so, you should hit that subscribe button because once we hit 1,000 subscribers, I'll be giving away 1,000 to one of my subscribers. So make sure to go tell your friends, family, whoever you know to subscribe. Now let's wait for this package to arrive. The connectors finally came in from Amazon. Let's try this again. So the airbrush stopped working, so I'm gonna have to hand sand this whole thing. Not the most ideal situation, but I want this logo to be on the table, and if we can get this logo to look good, it's gonna look epic. So let's get to sanding. After having to hand sand the entire MrBeast logo, the MrBeast themed infinity mirror beer pong table is finally ready to be revealed. In 3, 2, 1. I'm super excited with how this table turned out. The LEDs are super vibrant and the infinity mirror effect works perfectly.
Mom, we're out the bleach.
My goal is to give this table to MrBeast, but hey, if that doesn't happen, maybe I'll give it away to one of you guys. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. Now, if you made it to this part of the video, I need your help. I really want to give this table to MrBeast, so I need you to go comment on his latest video, Elephant made a gift for you. If we all do this, there's no way MrBeast doesn't see this video. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
Subscribe to Elephant on YouTube, man. That's Elephant with a 3, man. He ahead of his time. It's your boy Gator, Gator and Wiggling. Yeah.